Hey guys, it's Jess. I'm back today for a video about if you have an idea for a tattoo but you don't really know where to take it. I wanted to offer you guys some ideas as to how you can take an idea for a tattoo and translate it into a really good design. I have a bunch of steps that you can go through if you have an idea but you don't really know where to take it, or you don't know what specifically you want to do with this theme or subject for a tattoo. I broke down all of the steps that I typically take myself for coming up with really good tattoo designs. I wanted to preface this video with a disclaimer that, of course, if you have an idea for a tattoo and it doesn't follow any of these steps, doesn't make it any less of a great idea, doesn't make it a bad tattoo. I'm simply offering a solution for people that I hear constantly. People are telling me, oh, I've always wanted to get a tattoo, but I just don't know what. Like, I kind of know, but I don't have the specifics. I'm gonna try to aim this video for those people that maybe you haven't even gotten a tattoo at all before, and it'll kind of help narrow everything down for you. So let's get into it. I wanted to start off with choosing the style, and I think it's really smart to start with the style because whenever you are starting to get tattoos, or if you've already gravitated towards one style of tattoo design, you want to kind of have a general idea of what all of your tattoos are going to look like together in the end. And a lot of people mix and match styles. I even mix and match styles. However, I have an overarching, more contemporary black and white style that I gravitated towards. So all of my tattoos together look a bit more cohesive because I was very intentional with the style that I wanted for each piece. So if you're not familiar with the styles of tattoo design, there is traditional irezumi, the Japanese traditional style. There is contemporary and all of the subgenres of contemporary. There's line work, there's black work, there's, goodness, there are just so many. There's even ignorant style tattoo, which is a whole other video. I don't even know how to summarize ignorant style, but like more humorous, comedic tattoos, not meant to be taken as seriously, but serious sarcastically, I guess you could say. There are even tribal tattoos, religious tattoos. Knowing this, you can kind of start, again, just gravitating towards something that you prefer. Just kind of surf the internet for all the different styles that are out there and start kind of choosing your direction. Once you've kind of got an idea of the style, I think the next step is to start thinking about the themes and subjects of your tattoos that you want to get, maybe just one piece to start off with. If you're thinking about one specific idea but you don't know which one to start with, write down, without thinking, all of the things that are most important to you. And I'm talking about very specific things like family names, people in your life, dates, places that are very significant to your identity, anything that makes you who you are. Whatever makes you who you are is the most important thing about your tattoos, because essentially what we really want is to not regret our tattoos. And the key to not regretting something that's on you forever is becoming self-aware about your identity and all of the pieces, the puzzle pieces that form you into the person that you are today. And that can be so many different things. Once you have a list, you want to start writing down, in conjunction to each possibility, the things you wrote down, the visual things that could represent abstractly this subject matter. I wanted to use myself as an example because, again, this is from my own experience that I'm offering you guys these tips. The last couple of tattoos that I designed, one I got myself. I had the intention, because I'm a Christian and I've always been a Christian, so I decided, okay, I want something that represents how I follow Christ on a daily basis. It's the core of my identity. So I was like, okay, what is a visual that can abstractly represent my following Christ? So I started digging deeper. I went into the Bible and I found verses. So I read two verses. One was Ephesians 6:17. Take up the helmet of salvation and the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of God. And immediately I was like, sword, because the sword is how I fight, the evil forces in the world and you know, the conformity of society and my inner demons. So I was like, okay, that's a great idea for a tattoo, a sword. But I can add more personal details to it to make it more than just a sword. So I'll show you guys the images. I have the designs that I did. It went through many stages, and then the final design that I got, which is this one right here. It's almost completely healed. The artist did a really good job at taking my design and translating it into a tattoo-friendly piece. If that gives you kind of an example of what I'm referring to when you're looking for visual elements that represent abstractly the subject matter. If you take the subject and then, okay, how can I visually represent this? So the next thing that you do after you get a better idea of your subject matters and the visual elements, get an idea of location and size and placement. I think this is really important. Maybe you've never gotten a tattoo and you can start anywhere you want and you have no limitations. That's great. Definitely get an idea of what kind of areas you're gravitating towards. And I think that this is really important because the body is a canvas in the context of tattoos. And I think that you need to be very aware of what is most flattering to our bodies, whatever that means to you. Let's say in my case, a lot of people told me to be very cautious of my petite figure because tattoos can very easily overpower my small figure especially because they're so big. If they were too upfront and too dark and too stark, then it might be a little bit less flattering to me. Again, this is my personal preference. I wanted them to be more flattering and complementing my figure. So for example, most of my pieces, somehow I still left skin when you look at me up front. I just tried to do it in places that it complemented the piece as well. Like in this case, I was like, well, this makes sense because it's long, it's a thinner shape, and it complements the exact size of my upper arm here. So please do your tattoo artist a favor and please just consider their advice because they know composition, placement, and size so well. The last piece that I got, she changed the placement like 4 times with the stencil because she knew what looked straight in each position and when it was crooked and when it wasn't. And at first I was like, well, I don't really see what you're saying, but then she showed me and I was like, you were totally right. Thank goodness I listened and I took the time to consider your expertise because I don't have that expertise. So please listen to your artist, consult with them, but even on your own time, you can just print out your potential designs, try them on different areas, just like stick them like tape on your body and just like get a feel for what you're thinking in terms of location and size. The last 2 steps that I'd recommend for you is to obviously find examples of things that are similar to what you're going for and to find your artist. At this point, you'd probably be really familiar with what kind of tattoo, what style, location-wise, where you are, you know, obviously where you want to go to get your tattoo. Maybe you want to travel. That would be really cool. So at this point, look for a good artist. Instagram is an insanely useful resource for finding amazing tattoo artists. There are a lot of books. For example, this one I have right here, Tattoo Street Style, has a bunch of artists all over the world that are referenced, different shops, and which ones are really reputable, and obviously check the reviews. And finding examples of like the style or similar types of designs might help the artist to get a better idea of what you're going for. So now the important part of this video is what not to do, because I'm sure many people know what they want for tattoos. Some don't, but if you are lucky to know, maybe you don't know what not to do, so I will do you a special section just for those people. What not to do when you tattoo. Okay, sorry. That was too unfortunate. Okay, so obviously, I say obviously, but I feel like at this point it's not obvious. Do not copy someone else's design. This is incredibly disrespectful. I myself have designed tattoos and people ask permission to get the design, and There are many times that I post my designs even with watermarks, and I wonder if people steal them, because a lot of the times the artists won't even know. But there are fees for designs. If you take an artist and they post their flash and you want to get it, there is a fee. It costs money. You can ask the designer for permission, or maybe to do the same design with different elements, different alterations to make it a bit more unique. There are many cases where people do that because there are very trendy tattoos that everyone wants. Again, this is just a suggestion, but I would say don't give up on the visual element. I've seen a lot of newly tattooed people that just keep gravitating towards typography, getting different words in different languages, symbols, and all that stuff in the beginning, which I made that mistake. I did that. I've made all kinds of mistakes. By the way, I am a tattoo sinner. I have done many of the things that I'm telling you guys not to do. No, I do not regret any of my tattoos. However, I wish that I had the knowledge that I do now when getting tattoos in the past, because that was a long time ago that I started doing it. Those are all the tips I have for today, guys. I really hope that maybe it helped you be a little more inspired with your excitement about tattoos. Again, I know so many people that really want them and they just don't know where to start, and they're like, you know, where do I begin? What is the industry? Where do I go? If you have any thoughts on the things that I said today, please comment below. I'm so curious about you guys' experiences. If you have different ideas of what makes a good design or what makes something personal to you, please let me know. Again, this is from my own experience. I know that it doesn't work for everyone. And again, if you guys have other suggestions for videos in the future, if you have other ideas of these types of chatty tea videos that we can do in the little YouTube nook, I would love your ideas. I am so excited to be doing this regularly, and so I'm open to anything you guys have for me. And if you enjoy this kind of content, please consider liking and subscribing. I post regularly on this channel, and thank you guys for joining me. See you in the next one.